Okay, session number 7. This is the third day of the training, the first session of that day, and we have to continue with our deep view of the Web Manager applications. Now it's time for the reporting hub. We have seen something about the reporting briefly when we explained it, the LAMPS module, and we did some short example about that. But there is a lot of possibilities we can do with the reporting server. So we will start with that, creating, for example, a folder for that kind of things, reports, and then we will create several examples of reports. This app has a different parts. I will maximize the window. Now we are just configuring what we call the instance, the report instance. It's very interesting because when we have a report instance created, it can be invoked at any time. So we can download a report anytime. We can also send a report anytime to any destination. So it's very interesting because we can interact with the things we are monitoring in terms of information that is useful for the end customers also. So it's very interesting that, for example, a daily report can be sent about DALI gateways, or a graphic or chart trending, or a metering information. So all these things can be done. So we need to have an instance of that reports before created. So it's very interesting, this first approach. So we will create some different report instance, so we can take a look on the different possibilities that this module is giving us. And then we also have the possibility to create a specific report template. This is a bit more complex. It's a really sophisticated solution. It's a external software from the BMS, and it has a specific manual to do this. But we will have a short approach during this session, and then we will give you the access to the tutorials and to the manuals if you need to do a specific report customized by you. So it's a question of manage databases and all these things. It's a bit more sophisticated than just using the report instance that we have. But after saying that, I would like to reinforce that the importance of the things that we can do easy with our BMS platform. And this is very, very important because, let me say, 98% of the things you will be able to do it very easy, just following the videos and using all the tools that we have. Because the aim of the NetX automation solutions is to give to make your life as an integrator very easy and give you the opportunity to face really complex or sophisticated projects with these tools. So it's not necessary to be a top programmer to do all these things. So it's really nice. It's really nice to do this. So let me create some report instance. But first, we will see what are the different reports we can access. So, for example, we can create an alarm report, and this alarm can be specifically selected from your whatever alarms you may need. So alarm for the light bath, for example, at room 0101. We can select one alarm, for example. Okay. I can save, and I have the instance created. I don't need to generate the report now. It's not necessary. But if you want, we can generate a report. The timeline basis is current year in this case. So we can see there is one page for this alarm. Something happened during this year. So when it was created, the condition was fulfilled or not fulfilled, or wherever. So it's only one page. In this case, this is a very simple alarm and the priority of that. So you can get this every day, for example, if you want, for one specific alarm. This report is interesting from that point of view. If you want to create a different time range or data range, is possible. So it could be absolute day, yesterday. This is a typical situation when you send a report at 8 a.m. in the morning. So it should be interesting to have the information from yesterday, because today is not yet started, the day at the office, for example. So it's also possible to do this. Or last week, for example, if you send on Monday morning, I want a report for last week, last month, or whatever. So it's really interesting to do this combination with the data range and the rest of the data. We can also enable or disable this here. Okay, this instance can be enable or disable, so you can have it created, but you can deactivate the disable this report. Okay, and of course, let me check. Okay. We have a lot of more things to check. So there is a possibility also to create a report for example, emergency lighting for the lamps module, for multiple gateways, the logbook for the lamps. So you can also create the logbook with all the incidents or all the registers or that logbook. Testing for emergencies, a specific gateway, as we saw yesterday, a group of gateways, etc. So we can, about the lamps module, there is a lot of possibilities. We will do something afterwards, but before, I want to show you a meter point consumption, for example, bar, line, or table. So there is a different possibilities to select specific information for a meter point, for a metering chart, for a trending as a table chart, trending chart plot with lines, multiple charts, etc. So it's a lot of possibilities. And as you can see here, there is some specific gateways created by myself, some specific reports created by myself, because you can also edit one report and change something, for example, the logo, and save it for you. So it's interesting also to do such things. So I will show you also that. So, but first, let me create some, for example, some trending charts report, so we can see how this works with a metering information. For example, we have some trendings with temperatures about one room, for example, this first one. Okay, select it. And you can save as a PDF, or you can save as an image, for example, or a HTML page, or also an Excel file. So let me just select by default PDF. Let's check what is going to happen when I do this. It's the current year information, so there is not so many information here, only one dot, because it was only one day information. So if you select the range 1 year, you only have a few data, but we can change this on the fly. So let me say yesterday. Nice song from the Beatles. And we will get a different information. So this is different trending that we can also have. That's here. So we can create an instance like this. So we have the possibility not only to have this this report accessible pressing this button specifically from the web manager, but also what we can do is to send this report automatically by email at a specific time of the day, for example. So I will show you also how to do this in a few minutes. Let me show you some other examples of reports. Now, this is in graphic, but we can also create a trending, and we also can copy paste one instance, change the name, and select a different kind of trending. Trending is, as far as I remember, a table with data. So you will have the data in forms of table. Of course, CSV or maybe Excel file is also more interesting in this case. But this is a PDF, so you can also have it in PDF. Let me change again on the fly this configuration, because maybe this is more interesting to have in Excel file. So let's save it. And I will also generate report. Generate report is a button for if you want to test your instance. But the normal thing, in my opinion, is to automate the sending of this information anytime. So you have all this information in Excel. So this is a column that you can also configure or whatever, do a chart using the Excel or whatever. So this is interesting. If you want to automate the sending of information, specific information to a customer, you can do it in this way. Of course, we have about metering, the possibility to create reports. So let's check what are the possibilities for that. So we have meter point consumption bar chart, for example. This report is typical, let me say yesterday also, or maybe absolute. But if I say absolute, I can select the time. So from yesterday at 12 to today, for example. And the meter point is, for example, home. So it's a specific report for the energy home last 24 hours. So let's check what is happening if I do this. And we get this information. So what are we seeing here? We have the resume of the information, because this report is created with the aggregation option. It's not consumption per hour, because the range is more than 24 hours. Maybe is selected one information for yesterday and one for today. So what is the option to change this? Selecting a different time range, for example, yesterday, and I will save and check if I have information per hour. So as you can see here, yes, that's the result. So it's dynamically created a report telling you what is your consumption per hour. So this is really interesting, because the only source for this is the meter value. And the meter value is just a value that is growing and growing and growing, or standing, but not processed if you don't have the metering module. So it's a report like this is very interesting. So and it's a PDF. It could be also, of course, Excel file or whatever. So it's really, really easy to create or to use what I told you before, to use the reports that have been already created by NetX Automation. So it's, why not? It's very interesting. So more things that we can check or create with this about the LAMPs. We did it yesterday, but maybe some of you were not attending that. But we can go for a LAMPs gateway report and maybe give me all the information to the current year, for example. And the daily gateways appears here. These red ones are the ones that we have changed or modified or wherever, but it's stored in the LAMPs database. But my DALI home gateway is real, and we can also create a report for this DALI home. So we will have a report telling us what has happened in my DALI gateway at my home during all this time. From the beginning, it was created 14th of December, so it means yesterday, and we have some pages, 226 pages of information. So every single time it is checked and something is happening, you will have it here. So there is a persistent information about device number 7 with a faulty in the ballast, a problem in the ballast. So something happens also with device number 10, sometimes in device number 1 or whatever. These devices are okay, but sometimes it's not responding properly, and everything is checked. But if at the end of the day the only ballast that is giving some failures is device number 7, what you have to do is check it, because this is the only one that is always in faulty mode. The rest are just some specific momentaneous issues that are corrected. So as you can see here, for example, this device number 16 seems to not answer to the query, but 20 seconds after, the next query is answering. Okay, so everything it's represented in this report. So it's 226 pages for this gateway that you can receive automatically and take a look on that. Of course, this is the current year. If you want only yesterday information, it could be also sent. Normally, you should have 1, 2, 3 pages report, because normally it shouldn't happen any issue. But if you have some problem with DALI ballast, like this case, I forced a failure in the ballast in the device number 7, you will receive a complete report, and this is very interesting for your maintenance service and for the installation. So, but we have a different kind of report. So let's check what happens if we create a report like, for example, hotel room. A hotel room, we have created also yesterday, we created some rooms. So we have, for example, a room 0104. I select it, I don't have to do anything. And what we get here is the QR code, if it's necessary for some reason. So this is the report. So you get the QR code in order to access the visualization or whatever. So you can also send, if you have the instance created, this is an interesting thing, you can send this to a email or wherever, or using Telegram or whatever, to your customer, so the customer can receive this before entering the hotel, or maybe the checking is automatic, so there is nobody in the reception to give this code, so you can send it because you have created that report automatically. So you can see that it's booked by myself, so because the system automatically create this, or you create this manually as we did yesterday. So this is also interesting to have this for the GRMS. That's other kind of reports we can have. So a next report instance to create, let me check, could be, for example, the logbook of one gateway. So is not specifically a table, it's a logbook. What has happened all the time. We have this device, for example. This is the different kind of report that we can have here. And this, all the tests that has happened, this is only 30 pages, but the whole number of tests, and if there was any ballast fault, for example, it's not specified which ballast is in fault, but this is okay. So it's interesting maybe to, if you have a logbook with some ballast fault, maybe you have to have a new report with specific information about this. So it's also interesting, this kind of reports. And we can go ahead. Why not? Logbook multi. Logbook multi means all the gateways in a specific folder. So we have our DALI folder, but we can also select for a specific room, for example, all the DALI of the room 10101 or the floor, the third floor of the building or whatever. If you select DALI, this folder, it will be everything included. And of course, could be also Excel file or whatever, but we can just do this and check what is happening. And in this case, we don't have so much more information because the other DALI gateways are not present, but you can see that there is a lot of information about different devices. Okay. So there are different. The first is the DALI home. So you can see it's here. This is DALI home, and the others are not present. So there is not so many information. If we have 9 DALI gateways, it would be 200 pages, not only 50, but it's okay. No execution, nothing. So there's nothing in these gateways because they are not present in the installation. So it's logic that you don't have it. But it's a good thing to have this report maybe weekly for the maintenance responsible, or to store what is happening with your DALI installation. So it's really nice because if you are responsible for a massive lighting system, you need this kind of information, of course. And you have seen yesterday how easy it is to do this because we are using DALI gateways with KNX integration and a LAMP module that is getting all this information with a small effort from our side, only giving the gateways a specific 2, 3, 4, 5 group addresses for the polling of the device, not for the polling of each lamp or ballast, because that work is done by the BMS platform, and the module, the lamps module, is responsible for this. And we can get all this information in our database, and we can use it with the report. So this is complementary, totally complementary with the lamps module. And the best, or the last ingredient, is how to send this information to an end customer. So this is the example we will see at the end. So any other report interesting? Let's check, why not? So we can have or define whatever, well, LAMPS group. It will be again group of gateways. Which kind of gateway you want to check? Well, this one is this is the model of the gateways. The gateway from ABB Premium, or the regular whatever, of if you have Schneider or Jung or Siemens or whatever. So, or Senio or MDT or whatever gateway DALI that we have included in our. So you can just select this kind of gateways, and you get this report also. So I will not do this. About emergency lighting. Okay, let's check. Because I have one light here. It's very interesting also, this report. There is some European regulation that is now mandatory to have emergency lighting with auto test. And this is very important because every single new building, at least in Madrid, and I think it's a national regulation now. I'm not sure, but it's interesting anyway. Even if it's not mandatory by the law, but it's interesting for the maintainer of the buildings, whatever, to have the emergency lightings with auto test system. This means that the test can be done automatically and you don't have to be 1 month checking the emergency lights. It's done automatically. So we can also have this included in DALI, and if it's included in DALI, we can also integrate in LAMS module. So it's very, very interesting. So there was no execution about these elements. No execution about the emergency, because we didn't do a emergency lighting test, but we could do, but because I have one emergency light, but it's not necessary to go ahead with this. Another interesting emergency lights. Okay, so meter point, consumption table, bar chart, line chart. Okay, metering chart. This is also interesting because we had some calculation chart defined here. This one, I think, yesterday. Yes, it needs some time to get the information, I think. So maybe we can select it and check. Let me check. And yes, we have it with data because it was not shown, but we have it here with data. Of course, it makes sense to have this in table, not in this chart with this mess of information, but it's taking also information from the metering. So maybe we can also change this to an Excel file and check what is happening when we save as an Excel file. So we have a different information. Oh, it's a chart, of course, it's the chart. It's a chart again, so it's a graphic. Okay. So, and then what I'm going to show you is how to create your own, for example, how to edit a report. Okay, I will chart. Okay, this one is the last. So we have in report folder a lot of report instance. Okay, this instance is important to have it created because maybe it's necessary to send to an end customer or whatever. So next here is that we have the possibility to execute any kind of report, but on the fly. So if you want, you can select one of the instance or one of the reports templates that you have and generate a report on the fly. So, but this is not for preparing, for example, this is the result. This is just executing a report. But the only difference here, maybe you can see, is that the logo is not the Netex logo. I will show Netex Automation. You can see the logo on the bottom. Okay, it's always by default. This is the logo of this. That's okay. But if you want to create your own, you can do it. And this different logo, it's similar because my company's logo is similar as Netex, but it's not the Netex logo, it's my Sapiens. How to do this? This is an interesting question. It's not complicated. If I can do it, it's not complicated, I can promise. But we need to go to the editor. So the editor is fantastic. It's a fantastic part of this report tool, but it's really, really complex, sophisticated, no complex, sophisticated. So let me show you this. There is a web page that we can copy. I will put it on the chat so you will have this link if you want. Report Designer. This is a specific software that is used. It's embedded in the web manager to create all these kind of reports. There is 3 possibilities here for you. Of course, you can use the templates that are already created. That, in my opinion, is 99% of the cases that you may have. So it's enough. And if you want to change the logo, it's possible. It's not a problem. You can also change the logo, I think, in a different in a specific folder, so you don't have to change the templates with your personal templates or with your logo, because you can change the default logo from the Netex to your company's or whatever, or your customer's logo. But it's that is a possibility. So the first is to use the templates. Second is to study this and do by yourself at your own risk. And the third possibility, of course, is to ask our colleagues for Netex Automation and ask for a quotation, and maybe they can also help doing the report for you. So this is not easy to do. It's like learning to work with AutoCAD or with Photoshop or that kind of software that requires an expertise to do professional things, but it's possible. The tool is at your hands, but the knowledge needs to be acquired. So to do this, but you have now the link to take a look on this tool. So there is no excuse if you need to do something special at your own site. Well, you can do it, no problem. So, but you can also ask our colleagues. Reinhard, my friend Reinhard is an expert in this kind of thing, so maybe they can help you so much. So let's go back to the web manager again, and I promised to change one report. So let me try to do it. I can open a report, for example, the alarms one, or maybe the trending chart, for example. Trending chart, I open it, and this is the design of that from Netex Automation. This is the design, so these are fields of that. It's just fields, whatever, company name or whatever. So you can also take a look on this, but the question is to change the logo. So change the logo is where you can, here, I did it some time ago, but let me change this one. This is the image, and you can change to another image. Let me check outside. Don't want to disturb you with strange pictures, but we can also select one logo. For example, this neutral R. This is the new logo, for example, for this report, and you just have to change, saving as a different report. My trending chart. So you now have a trending chart with your logo, company logo. The rest of the things we assume that is useful, so we don't have to do anything. So if you want, you can create or you can redefine, for example, the report for the trending temperature. Instead of default trending chart, you can select my trending chart, save and check. So you just have to do this to have your own report. That's it with your logo here. Okay, so it's working fine and it's very easy to do this example. So of course, this text automation can also be changed, whatever. So this is a question of taking time and some patience and try to create your own templates. But it's not trivial. It's not a 1 hour thing. You have to handle data from the SQL database and to have specific knowledge about this for the queries or whatever. So it's not a question only of design; it's also a question of the management of data and queries and all these things. But it's okay. It's possible to do this kind of specific reports. In the reporting history, you have here all the things that we have done to now in this log, and you have also the possibility to repeat this download if you have lost the file and you don't remember about a specific time you did this report. You can also again press that button and you have whatever report you download before, you can do it. And also, of course, the logs for my a reporting server, for example, all the things we have done up to now. So we have one log with all the things stored in that. So this is our reporting tool, but the most interesting thing now is to show you, okay, I would like not only to have the instance, but also to automate, for example, sending of that instance at a specific time of the day. So this is the last example. I will do 2 or 3 examples for you to understand how we can do it. First, we need to configure the messenger module for emails, to send emails. So I need to import this. I will frozen the screen because I need to import a file and it has a specific okay. So in module messenger email, okay, you can put here your own information to send emails. So normally you also have Gmail. It's typical to use a Gmail for a simple mail transfer protocol. But I have my own my company, so you just put the name for the profile, for example, BMS or whatever, or Julio or whatever name you want from, and this is the typical no reply at we can put here no reply at bmsplatform.netexautomation.com. So this is not existing email, but this is typical no reply. The host to send and the configuration, a port, authentication, a username, a password, and if it's necessary to use a SSL or not. In this case, this is the configuration for my email. So I will save this, and I have defined a profile to send emails at the same way I have profiles defined to send telegrams, for example. So you may remember that we use the Telegram for also for sending some text. So emails and telegrams are also now available. So that's the first step for me in order to get this report automatically sent to some destination or whatever. So how to do this this report sending? We need, of course, to create a calendar. Imagine that I wanted to do this report sending every day at this time, for example. So the first thing to do is to create a event. So I will create the event here in reports, for example, or maybe we can create in the folder events. It's your decision. Maybe events folder for report sending, for example. It doesn't mind. It's just wherever you want to include it, you can. And what kind of event is in my case? But it is maybe a one-time event to do once a day. It's not a cyclical event because, of course, it's cyclical because you send it once a day. But this cyclical means a smaller period of time for the cyclist, 15 seconds, 2 minutes, or whatever. One-time event is what I need. Okay, it's a one-time event. If I want to send it the report, for example, my DALI report. So DALI report sending daily. If you want to change the name, this is okay. It's enabled or it can be disabled. I will also mention about this because we can also interact with this possibility outside. It's not necessary to come to the web manager to press this or press it again to enable or disable. So I will mention that because we can interact with these possibilities. Okay, a description, no, not necessary. In the name is the description. And now it's important, the action. The time, I will also change it afterwards. The action, what is the action? I need an action. That is send report DALI home or whatever. And the action here, it is already created because we have for reporting default options, save report or send report. You can save report daily to a file. So you can save it in a folder, a specific folder, and you have it. You don't need to send that report. You can also save, no problem. So you can save report. This is an option I'm just showing you. You just have to put here the report instance and the destination folder. So this is the path for your computer or whatever, or even a remote maybe folder. So, but this is not the one thing I want to do is send report. I want to send report, which is the options of this. The report instance is the first. So you remember we have created report instance and this is my DALI home, for example. Okay. That is current year. So you can, it should be maybe yesterday. If you are going to send daily this, it should be a different time range, but you can change on the fly also. Okay, or you can create another one with only the data from yesterday. Messenger profile email. Okay, this is the reason why I just created that. And if you remember, the name of the profile was BMS. BMS, yes, it is here. If you don't have it, you have to do it because if you don't have this profile before created, it's not possible. Okay, destination, email address, I will send to myself. Okay, and a subject, I will say the DALI home report yesterday, for example, and a body of the email if it's interesting for you. Hello, we are on a online training with many friends worldwide. This is just for you to to see that the email is just created now and no difference. We can remember that the actions can be multiple, so we can select a different options, because some of you maybe are thinking, okay, if you want to send it to 3 people, let's do this. So put here info at Netex automation or whatever. Not sure if it's working. I'm not sure if it's working. I have tested, but sometimes they change. My colleagues change it, and now it's available. We can do the test, but of course you can put here another destination, invoking a different, maybe invoking a different report instance. So this is a much more powerful and flexible than just put here 3 emails, in my opinion. But you can check and test. It's not a problem. I will try to do one test that works. That's my first aim. So I'm just creating this action. This action is send the report. So we need the action, and over the action that we select as the action for this one-time event, we have the sorry, we have the calendar. So now we just have to do this, select the time is, for example, at 9:52. If I am, yeah, we have 40 seconds left. So even we can put 51 and 35. And every day we should have an email. I will show you. Some issue with this. I had some issue with reporting, but what I wanted to show you is that exactly at that time it's trying to send the report. Something is not working, maybe because of my email configuration. But seems like it's not working good here. So I will check something in my BMS at home. Let me open a new, and I will check my email configuration. So maybe it's just a question of that, because my home BMS is working fine. It's sending me perfectly the email, so it's not a problem of the BMS. It's maybe the configuration that I copy and it's not correct, but it's question of seconds. So you can check it here. Okay. So here it is. Okay, it should work now. I just changed the from the email from. Okay, so let's check if it's working fine. The question is that the calendar was working, because we can see here that it was trying to send, but then there was an error. Yeah, the sender was rejected. Yes, that was the problem. Okay, yeah, maybe now it's working. I will check now with my new opportunity. So 9:55:00. Let's check if it's working now. in a few seconds. Of course, you can select also a recurrence, a different recurrence. Weekly, for example, means that you can deselect Saturday and Sunday. So you will have no Saturday and Sunday emails because it's only interesting from Monday to Friday and this kind of things. But yes, it is. Here it is. So we have my daily report. I will show you. This is the email just received with that and with the body and with the PDF attached. So, and the PDF is this. So it's working perfectly. Let me check again with, and so I show you a second example with another report. For example, a chart or the consumption, for example, that is interesting for all of us. So I will create a new one-time event. Okay. And then the name is Energy Home yesterday. But the question is that every day I will receive, if I don't stop my BMS, this is for the training, so it will be changed and stopped and wherever, but every day I will receive, every day at 9:55, the same report about the DALI of my home yesterday. I have it already configured in my home BMS, but it's and it's working every day, but it's very interesting. So Energy Home yesterday, what is the action? The action is, I will have to create an action. So we'll repeat the example with a different one. Send report Energy Home daily. Better say daily report Energy Home. And I have to select a specific command that is the reporting send report. So that's it. What is the instance? So we need to have created before that instance Energy Home last 24 hours. No, sorry, it was not that. Oh yes, Energy Home is the name. The thing that is not correct, Energy Home yesterday. So we save it and we select it. What is the profile is this? The email address is the same. Subject consumption yesterday per hours. Of course, you can create a report monthly and send the first day of the month or whatever. So this can be defined in the, and I will put not anybody in the email. So I save and just select it and just have to select the time for this. 59, oh, 58:30, it's enough. So that's it. And we will see that I should receive again an email. That's it. Consumption yesterday per hours, and this is the report received. That this is a report I showed you before, so you have seen that report, but it has been created now for this sending every day. That's really good. But there is also an extra possibility, and I think it's very interesting. We are only dealing about time events, but how if we are interested in a conditional event? You may remember that. What happens if something happens? Do this. So why not? I am maybe interested in receiving the report, but if the for example, if the power of the consumption of my home is the power is higher than 100 watts, send me the report or whatever. or the luminosity external temperature is lower than whatever value, send me the report. So this is also possible. It's a condition and an action. So the action is executed when the condition is met, is fulfilled. So this is also possible. So let me do this second example, not as a timer event or one-time event, as a conditional event. It's also possible because you can create any kind of conditions and you can execute any kind of action. So any kind means that you can send a report if this condition is met. So let me put here, send energy consumption when power, this is a useless example, but this is just an example, but power is high. So what is the condition? And the condition, if you remember, we did some tests yesterday and we did some event. It was a conditional event or time event, or was an alarm test. Yeah, we had this condition configured, so we can use it again. The condition was already configured yesterday. So this value higher than 100, I can select it because it was created. And the action is also created because we have already sent daily report energy home. So we can select this action. When it was not happening, but happens, so this is the flank or the edge, or the positive edge from false to true, send me the email. That's it. So we just have to test this. And I will test it, have not my phone with me, I think. No, it's not with me, but I can test it here because I have my, oh no, not here, but no, from the other, my BMS at home. Yes, no problem. I can force it here. So it should energy go higher than 100 watts? We can check. Of course, we have it in Modbus. It was that one, yes. So now it's more than 100 watts. So you can see that it's sending the report. So I am receiving the report now. That's it. I have received just now an email, just now, with the consumption. And it was executed because a condition was met. That it's also really, really interesting for us. So at the end, we can create our own reports instance. We will be able to edit that if you take some time and patience. But the best thing is that we can handle also the reports because we can send these reports at any time. So this is very, very interesting also for us. So, and not only related to alarms or to metering, also we can send the room, for example, QR code to access and all these things. So it's also interesting. So I think I will compensate something of the time exceeded yesterday. We will finish now this session. So we can continue in less than 1 hour with the logics and scripting and really interesting session, next one, so don't miss it. But I think we already finished this one dedicated to the reports, the reporting app. So thank you very much, and see you in 55 minutes more or less. So thank you.